Hey guys, Curtis here. In this Sim Talk edition, we're going to be talking about kind of tournament play and how to prepare not only for the game but also mentally prepare for a tournament match. Tournament matches are very different compared to normal ranked play. If you've ever gone to a poker room, tournament poker is very different than money game poker. And so there's a few things that you need to kind of adjust about yourself while going into the tournament. And I'm going to cover a few of my kind of basic tips that I follow and that I'm going to do, and I'm getting ready for a tournament in the next few weeks. And so this may interrupt some videos because I realize that when I make these videos and even when I upload it, my internet can't handle me uploading videos and me also playing ranked matches and doing actual practice. So we may see a little interrupt because I need to prepare for that, and I just have a few weeks left. So that's going to happen. But the point of this video is, what do we do for tournaments? Not only has this channel been basically dedicated to practice in training with King or in finding other things interesting about the game, you need to start mentally preparing yourself, and that's what most of these Sim Talks are. But one of the first things that I want to point out is in a tournament setting that you're going to be playing in a completely different environment. If you just played at home or at your friend's house or whatever, that's all you're used to. You need to be able to sit on a metal folding chair, sit on the ground basically, or in just other different settings to be prepared. Because depending on the tournament that you're going to, it's going to be super crowded, super loud, equipment, like in general, may just not be up to what you're used to doing. So there's a few things that you need to kind of take advantage of. Is if you're playing at home and you have a dedicated spot, start changing out that chair with other chairs. Sit really high, sit really low, these small things. While you may not think of it, if you don't think of these things at all and you go to a tournament and you're like, oh, this is a lot higher than I'm used to, that has the chance of throwing off your game, especially if you've never been to a tournament before. Same thing goes with start listening to other distracting music or background noise, as you most likely will not be able to hear what's going on in the game, or you may be distracted by something else that's going on. So having little distractions here and there, both audio and even visual, could help that tremendously. Even having one of your friends randomly like hit your chair, unfortunately this has happened to me, it's happened to a lot of my friends. I got used to it very quickly. A lot of tournaments are really crowded and other observers want to actually watch the games. So they're going to get really close up, they're going to be talking about the game, and this is less of a problem with me because I play on a pad that's on my leg, but my friend was playing on a stick and someone actually bumped his stick. We don't know if it was by accident or whatever, playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and he moved his entire stick and that threw off his whole positioning, and he still looks at that, oh, I lost that match. And it wasn't like a big kick, but it was just enough that I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this guy is sitting so close and that he's not focusing on the game. What we see on streams is like basically the best conditions, because these are very top-end player matches. So they're going to have the headphones, they're going to have people away. But actually out in the tournament hall, it's going to be very crowded, very loud. So you need to be able to take these things in consideration. Other things to take in consideration is the temperature of the venue is going to be very different. So either you need to prepare for all different kind of temperatures, or you can even get used to the temperature in your own home or your own play space, in which if you're used to playing with the windows open, letting the breeze in, start shutting it, make the room really stuffy. Can make the room very cold, can make it very hot. You can be wearing multiple layers, you can be wearing just shorts or whatever. These little changes has an impact on us mentally as we're approaching the game. So if you're already getting ingrained in your brain of like, okay, you know, I can still play under these conditions even though my hands are super sweaty, or like I'm cold, I'm shivering a little bit, I'm prepared for this. Same thing goes with playing with lights. So if you're used to playing in the dark, play with the lights on. If you're used to playing lights on, playing in the dark, just little things like that. Adjust, sit close to the TV screen, sit away from the TV screen, sit to the side, left, right, this type of thing. Another thing is, and this goes for rank play, you should be able to play on player 1 side as well as player 2 side, and because a lot of times in tournament you're not going to get that choice. There's a few other techniques that you can do, like trying to just sit at a seat real fast and be like, nope, this is my seat. But let it be known, in most tournament settings, you can request for a coin toss, or in which you decide what side to go to, or Rochambeau, rock, paper, scissors. So that's something to take in mind. Other mental things are, should you shake hands, should you not shake hands? It's completely up to you. Usually I'm now a fist bumper, since I've touched too many sweaty hands, and that's really gross. And even working in healthcare settings, a fist bump is much more sanitary for me, as depending on the venue, there's going to be a lot of people. Usually there's someone sick, and then something goes around. So just a simple fist bump is kind of what I do, and I do that before and after a match. Just kind of little etiquette things that you do. Other etiquette things is actually make sure that you're around on time. The most extreme case of this was actually when I was at final round, and I had to wait for 50 minutes, that's 50 minutes, for my opponent to show up, because the tournament organizer was a friend of his, and so we had to wait. That is complete bullshit. Hopefully they kind of stopped all that, but that is another tactic that, especially if kind of tournament veterans have always gone, that they could be playing that kind of BS. So I really recommend looking at the rules, and if there is, a 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute late policy, you really need to be adamant of just like, no, they're not here. Give me the win type of thing. Same thing goes with controller disconnects. Depending on the match situation, you can either take that round, take that match, whatever, depending on the rules. But you need to understand the rules of the tournament that you've entered. What are the conditions that need to be set kind of going forward? And that's all kind of part of etiquette of getting ready to play. Your different play styles, if you're actually at a physical tournament and you're doing warm-up matches, literally just work on your basics, your fundamentals. Don't do any crazy things. Every once in a while, like if you are able to play, for an hour of practice matches kind of before the venue, you can start once in a while trying something crazy, but you should save your best secrets to actually the match. In a previous sitting talk, I talked about how I was able to observe the behavior of one of my opponents that I was going to face, and I saw a major flaw in his game plan, and so when we sat down, I exploited it majorly. You need to be hiding your best secrets, and you also need to be scouting what other people are doing, because you might be paired with them. Same thing was in one tournament I was paired up against Anakin, and I knew Anakin, especially early on, he really liked just doing down forward 2 with Jack, of just trying to keep launching that uppercut. And so even before sitting down, I knew that he liked that strategy. This is back in, I think I played him during Tekken Tag 2. And I was Bruce at the time as my lead character, and I was looking for that. Usually he did it anywhere from 2 to 4 times in a row. And so as soon as I would see that first kind of down forward 2, that would kind of precaution me of looking for my opportunity to do a back 1 and then do a combo on it, which I landed very successfully multiple times. So that's something that you need to be aware of. If you've never been to a tournament, you need to be scouting players. If you're all by yourself, that means you have to do it all, and it's a lot of work. And if you're going all by yourself for your first tournament, don't expect much. A lot of times you're going to be facing veterans in which they know what it's like. A tournament setting is so much different than just normal ranked matches or just having friends over and playing versus, in which tensions are much higher, clutch moments are way more clutch, and those nerves are going to get to you of having execution errors and everything else. But don't beat yourself up. Yeah, you can be like, oh man, I gotta do this. Like, oh, I dropped this combo, and I drop a lot of combos. I have very big tournament nerves. Once we get to a certain level, I do start to crack. And that's why you just have to do it more, because all that nervousness and like you shaking, all that, those are just chemicals in your body. And so those chemicals that are released, the first time that they're released, it's super, super strong. But as time goes on, it's going to get weaker and weaker of actually shooting out those kind of chemicals in your brain and everything else, in which you don't have that fear anymore. You don't have that anxiety. And so while it may be a very scary thing to do at first, you just need to stick to it and get your body used to it. This is why we also have all these body chemistry of changing temperature, lights, and everything else, because it affects basically our mental game. And if we are fighting ourselves while playing a match, there's no way that we can concentrate on the opponent and then develop mind games. You need to be as calm, as relaxed as possible, and whatever makes you relax. If you like to talk during a match, you need to be free to talk during a match. If you like being quiet, be quiet. If you don't like being talked to, it's up to you to bring noise canceling headphones or something to block out that noise. You know, you may even refuse a handshake, you put in earplugs, whatever, but that's all up to you. And if you lose a match and you start blaming an environmental, just like, oh, you know, this setup is weird, or like, oh, this chair is awkward, it's too hot in here, that's why, stop making those excuses. Everyone goes through that. The only thing that it's an unfair battlefield of those that have gone through it for the first time and come back, and so they adapt, they learn, and then there's the people that just want to complain about it and quit. We hope that you stay in, you learn, you adapt, and part of that game is not only execution in the game, but also how we prepare ourselves mentally and then physically. So with that, again, I just want to point out that probably within the next 2-3 weeks, videos are going to be a lot more scarce, as I just need to get more games in and follow kind of my own training regimen, as these videos are fun for me to put out, but they're just very time consuming, and with my work kind of exploding with that need, and I come home, I can't then devote, you know, an hour, 2 hours to a video when I should be using that time to play ranked for even that 1-2 hours. So I apologize if there's a delay, but let it be known that it may happen. So thanks again for watching. If you like what you saw today, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we're going to see you guys next time.